Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly review of my M1 Finance dividend portfolio. Balance on the account is $207,661.06, which is absolutely pathetic. This balance was several thousands of dollars higher about 3 weeks ago, but this past week in the stock market was just horrendous. So let's get right into the numbers. This past week, the portfolio, it was down 2.28% or $4,837.28. Let's look at the holdings. The first is VU, which is the S&P 500. That was down 1.90% or $2,621.76. SCHD, I don't know what's going on with her. She has just been crashing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about her later because pretty much all my returns in SCHD is gone. But anyway, she was down 2.99%, almost 3% in a week, or $2,138.60. And then QQQM, which is the NASDAQ 100, that was down 2.67%, or $76.92. So it was just dripping red this week in the market. It was like so horrible to watch. Let's go ahead and look at the activity for the past week. So the first is on December 13th. I put in $250 and it was traded on the 16th, and it all went to VU. It all went to VU and I got 0.44 shares. And then my Q4 dividend was paid out for SCHD. So you see here, for my Q4 dividend, I got $673.40, which is pretty nice. I'm getting closer and closer to 700, which is great for SCHD, but it just crashed, like I was just saying. And then I also put in $200 on the 17th. And then, so if you add the $673.40 plus the $200, this is where you get $873.41. That traded on the 17th, and it went to QQQM, and I got 3.96 shares. If you're wondering why it all went to QQQM, that is because I increased the percentage allocation in the portfolio for QQQM. I bumped it up from 1% to, you see here, I'm targeting 2%. So M1 is just trying to put more money to this investment to bring it up to 2% as soon as it can. And let me just go ahead and continue down that path. So SCHD, you see here, I reduced the position to 25%, or that's the new target. So right now it's at 33.4%, and I want to go down to 25% because SCHD is not a growth-oriented ETF. It is dividend focused, and I think these past 2 weeks has just been a good reminder for me to not have this humongous position in SCHD. I'm not going to sell anything. It's just all future cash flows are just not going to go into SCHD. And then for VU, I upped the percentage to 73%. It's currently at 65%. So I'm hoping with these small changes, again, my money will be going more towards growth-oriented ETFs versus dividend-oriented ETFs, even though they all pay dividends. But SCHD in particular is truly like a dividend ETF. So the $673 that I got paid out in Q4 dividend, if anyone is interested in terms of, well, how many shares do I have to have gotten that amount, I have 2,545.94 shares of SCHD. So I have a pretty decent amount of shares. You see here my cost basis is $63,000 that I've invested of my own money into SCHD. All right, so going back to the activity tab. So for the past week, of my own money, let's see, I have invested $450 of my own money if we don't count the dividend money that was reinvested. So $450, that's it. All right, let's go ahead and look at the recap. So you see here, it started at $211,374.94. It was even higher than that last week or the 3 weeks ago. But it came crashing down to that. And then, including the dividend, $1,123.40 was put into the portfolio and still had a massive loss of $4,837.28, which is what brings the balance to $207,661.06. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know if I'm even going to end the year in the 200s because we still have, 2 weeks to go. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Before 3 weeks ago, I had confidence that I would end the year in the $200,000 mark. At this point, I'm like, I don't know, whatever. All right, moving on. So we did activities. Let's look at the funding. So for 2024 to date, I have put in $84,522, but there was a little snafu and a withdrawal was noted. So you have to back out the $4,000 from this balance. So to date, I've invested of my own money $80,522. This is what infuriates me so much whenever I see these drops in this portfolio, because I'm just like, I've literally gone through hell to put this type of money into the portfolio. So to just see like thousands upon thousands of it gone is just so frustrating. All right, let's go over to the holdings. Overall, it's up 12.97% or $23,841.42. I keep on saying this. I'm like, a portfolio this size should have way higher returns on it. Like, this should be like 40-50%. And I know that sounds like a ridiculous percentage, but if folks are saying like the S&P 500 is up 20 whatever 30% for the year, like, why is my S&P 500 return a measly 14.66%? Like, these to me are like bad returns. And I was trying to rack my brain in terms of like, where else can I put my money? Because the stock market is just not doing it, because I'm not gaining anything from being in the stock market. $23,000 on a portfolio where the cost basis, which is basically my money that I put in, is $183,000. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't seem like a good use of that money. And I was just trying to think, like, I don't know, should I just liquidate this and put it somewhere else that it could actually make me some good returns? But I couldn't think of anything. And I'm not really into real estate, so the concept of like, buy properties, like my mom has her own real estate company, and I just see the hell she goes through with real estate, and I have no interest in going through any of those tenant dramas, even though actually her properties have done really well because she's had them for 10 plus years. So this is way before COVID, so they have appreciated significantly. But all the behind the scenes that she had to do to accomplish that, I'm like, no, my career is just way too stressful. I would literally have zero capacity to be involved in any type of real estate. And then also, I don't want to be a hands-off investor in terms of, hire a management company. No, I don't want to do that either. It's just too hands-off for me. So I just can't think of anything else that's not like super, super risky. I'm sure there's like alternative investments out there, but like, I don't know. This is just not good returns for such a high portfolio. I think if this portfolio balance was like 50,000 or 60,000, then I would be like, okay, that makes sense. It's about 23,000, but this is almost $200,000 of my own cash that I put into this portfolio, and all I have is $23,000 to show for it. Like, I couldn't even live off of $23,000. Like, I couldn't. So I don't know. I'm just like conflicted in terms of, I don't know what makes sense in terms of my investing. Anyway, so the three investments I have, the first is VU. Overall is 14.66%, which is way below like the year to date that all these folks are raving about with VU, or $17,285.11. SCHD is like almost below 10%. It's like 10.14%, or $6,398.01. This is like a complete joke. And then QQQM is 5.52%, 100 or $158.30. So QQQM I'm a little bit more forgiving with because I just recently invested it in this ETF, I think like 2 months ago or 3 months ago at this point. So it needs more time to like cook before I can make any sort of like real comments about it. But VU and SCHD I've had. So I don't understand why these horrible returns are happening. All right, so this is the update for this week. I know it wasn't shiny and bright because I'm always going to be real and authentic with you all on this channel. I'm not going to fake anything and try to pretend like, seeing all this red, I saw it as a great buying opportunity. No, I don't. It sucks. So, yeah, I guess I'll keep on doing this because I can't think of anything else to do. I can't think of anywhere else to like literally liquidate this entire account and put the money in. If I could, I would. I would like literally shut this M1 Finance portfolio down and go into something else that would actually make me real money. But I'll be trugging along and putting money into the brokerage account next week as usual. All right. Let me know how you reacted to the markets. I know a lot of you finance pros are going to be like, oh, I was so excited. Well, I wasn't. All right. Until next week. Bye.